Gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. George Noory.
Well, good morning. Or good evening, wherever you may be. You know, that's what you're seeing Oakland over there. I normally don't get an opportunity to see Richard live and up front and in person. So they can stand up for a second. You're wearing that bowler. Our first program now, if your cell phone is on, put it on silence. A couple days ago, we had a story on fears and phobias. What are people afraid of? And the number one fear is the fear of public speaking. I said to myself, God, am I out of business? That's what I was afraid of. It's good to see all of you. Are you all from here in this area?
No.
We know where you're from. What we're going to do is, you're here for 2 hours for this panel. For the first hour, why don't you tell us a little bit about your thoughts about all this? How many of them are there? Where are they from?
International theory, the gods, extraterrestrials.
The question in the television series is, how many of them are there? Where are they from?
And all I have to say to that is, look around you. Just very subtle, as Robert said, very subtle. But you know, all these questions, you know, when is it going to happen? When are they going to, you know, tell us? Well, they're telling you. It is happening right now, just a whole disclosure process. And, you know, I always like to say we live in very exciting times, and we really are. Because, you know, I would have to agree with Robert that, you know, this, you know, could all happen where someone will arrive within our life. And yes, we've come a long way, but still, we're still struggling here. And until that happens, until we clean our own house, I don't think that, you know, official contact will take place. So I think that this time right now, with the whole 2012 thing and the new era, the era of time and things like that, I mean, look at the audience here. You guys are the people who bring forward this message. And, you know, here's the crazy thing, that right now, we're the kooks. 100 years from now, papers and the computers will write, look, there were these conferences, these people. Guess what? They were right. So.
Of course, Georege says they're not here to eat us.
How do you explain this?
An alien gray walked into a bar. A guy sitting at the bar, and this alien gray comes in, you know, skinny, big head, big eyes, no clothes. And this guy sitting at the bar stool is going. Alien's right next to him, poking him. Right in the arm, just like this. Poke, poke, poke. Constantly. And the guy who had like 15 whiskeys looks at this alien gray and goes, "You don't have any organs." Alien says nothing, just keeps poking him in the arm, just like that. And the drunk guy says, "So, how do you guys have sex?" Alien looked at him, smiled, and just kept poking him in the arm. So thanks for that transition. We did not rehearse.
Mental health, you know. After the publication of my book back in the 90s, Alien Agenda, which is now, as I understand it, the top-selling non-fiction UFO book in the world. So many people come up to me who I've known all my life. And they said, "Wow, wait a minute, let me tell you what happened to me or what I saw." And I said, "Well, you never told me this before." And they said, "Yeah, well, I just figured you'd laugh at me, you know, tell me to go away." And it's been quite successful. I think your story, is that where the term poking came from? Also, I wanted to add another thing, which is don't go out there and stir up a lot of trouble by trying to leave the impressions that aliens created us. Okay, this, of course, especially with the religious right, that just, pulls their chain. You're trying to tell me I was created by an alien? Next thing you tell me is I came from a monkey. So, don't do that. And it's not true anyway, because if you actually make a study of the ancient Sumerian cuneiform tablets, you find that, interestingly enough, the Anunnaki themselves had these moral debates. And when their science officer, Enki, says, hey, I've been working with these Earth primitives, and I think I can do a little bit of messing with their DNA, and I think I can produce us a worker race, they were saying, hey, it's not our place to play God. They didn't create us, okay? All they did was the same thing we do to horses and cattle and dogs and cats. They tweaked the DNA, they improved the breed. And that's why all my life, at least younger life, they are always talking about trying to find the missing link. Well, folks, it's going to stay missing because there is no missing link. They took Neanderthal, they tweaked with the DNA, and they came up with Cro-Magnon or modern man, and that's why there's a gap in the records, and it's always going to be there. But anyway, just try to explain to people that we're not trying to say anybody created us, only God can create things, but they improved the breed. They improved us, okay? And so that's another thing. It's out there, it's coming out, it's bursting out all over. They haven't got enough Dutch boys with enough fingers to plug the holes in the dike right now. And what Farrah was mentioning, I guess you all are aware of the big sighting over New York on the 13th. What's the thing that just tickles my mind about that whole thing is there was a NORAD colonel in Fulham who wrote a book several years ago, and
Challenges of change.
Challenges of Change. And I was trying to make sure that that actually was published way back there, and the best I could do was find an internet site where they were reviewing his book, and this was posted on October the 6th. And in the book, he said there's going to start to be mass sightings over major cities starting on October the 13th. And that's exactly what happened in New York.